Our question for today, what is a quarterback mentor?
QB mentor is a teacher, somebody that helps develop a young quarterback that maybe lacks experience.
When you say quarterback mentor, you think of a guy that's going to help you take on the current situation that you're in.
Somebody that's been in the game a long time, that's played it and built their own understanding of what it takes to be successful.
To achieve in the NFL, we know this. Young quarterbacks seek the kind of knowledge and guidance that only a veteran quarterback, a quarterback mentor, can truly provide.
I felt like I needed Chris Chandler in my corner. I felt like I needed him to provide me with information when I needed it if I was going to play.
To have a guy in the quarterback room that's been there before, that has been in every situation, that's been in some big games, that's played for a long time, I think is critical.
When he gives you some wisdom and says, hey, look, this is why I did this, the light comes on. A coach can say that, but when a veteran quarterback tells you that, they go, oh, okay, I got you.
Some of the little tricks of the trade, hey, we're going to look this guy off here, we're going to change up the snap count on this play, here's a little, play action tip, just the little nuance type of things that aren't necessarily, in your playbook.
A quarterback mentor's greatest value comes not on the field, but off it.
Donovan was one of the guys that I learned a lot from in the film room. I think you learn the most from veteran quarterbacks, understand how they break down the game and their outlook on certain situations that may come about throughout a football game. And I think you just have to be very observant. Spend less time talking and more time listening, and that was my philosophy, and it worked.
Mentoring a young quarterback is not always in the mindset of a veteran QB. Turn to your chapters from 2005. At the time, he was one of the top experts in the field.
It's not my job to get him ready to play. It's his job. My contract doesn't say I have to get Aaron Rodgers ready to play. Now, hopefully he watches me and gets something from that, either good or bad, and it helps him have a great career. I'm not obligated one bit to help anyone.
Just by watching him, I think it's the best way I learn, just mimicking what he does and seeing how he controls the offense and runs a team and acts as a team leader.
Regardless of their own personal relationship, by osmosis, Rodgers had to gain an awful lot from watching Favre.
This will not go down in the Mentoring Hall of Fame, even though both of these guys will.
Joe Montana had come off back surgery. My expectation was I think I would be on the field pretty quickly until Joe Montana came out for the first practice, and I remember whispering to Coach, he doesn't look real hurt. And then it became obvious that this was going to be a long haul. I learned how to play quarterback at that highest level by watching Joe and being around Joe. Now I can tell you that Joe, he did not want to mentor me. I mean, and I don't blame him.
It's just like anybody else that would be attempting to take your job. There's a certain working relationship you have, but that's about it.
It's kind of unique because you think about it this way, you're basically giving a player information to beat you out and take your position.
So, what are the keys to successful mentoring? Team, relationship, understanding, savvy, together. What does that spell? Trust.
You got to be a friend, a guy to lean on, because when you're playing the position of quarterback, sometimes it's a really lonely deal. And then you got to have knowledge of the game that you're willing to pass along if you're going to be a mentor.
It was funny how it flipped on its head. Other quarterbacks would come in, and all of a sudden I was on the other side of it, and I was like, "Wow, this is, this is not as easy as I thought it was." I always thought Joe should help me more. I'd handle it like a lot of ways Joe did. Mentoring a lot of times is if you're the older player playing, you're mentoring by just playing great football.
Turn to the chapter on Dilfer versus Hasselbeck from the Seattle Seahawks about a decade ago.
We went from being competitive and not really comfortable with one another to being the closest friends. And when it became a mentoring role, it was never, hey, Matthew, do it this way because I know more than you. It was, Matthew, hey, I've made every mistake you can make, so I'd be aware of these pitfalls.
Remember that for others, the wounds are harder to heal.
I've been around them for a year and a half, and our situations different than these, but you deal with them.
It wasn't easy. I mean, we were still friends, and I was one on the headphones with him, calling the plays in for the game while I was on the sidelines. When it became strained was when I was healthy again. When somebody takes your job, for like giving them a big hug very often. I was always happy for Tommy, and I was always happy for my teammates and all of that. But for me personally, it certainly was a bitter pill.
Bitter or sweet? The key thing is success for the team. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. And all young quarterbacks want.
As a competitor, you always want to play. But if you end up on a team with a guy who's obviously the guy for the team, yeah, you're going to take advantage of learning from a guy like that.
It just so happens that most of the time as a quarterback, you feel like the team's better if I'm in the game.
It's very gratifying to know that you can help, younger guys and help them become students of the game.
I think I've been a help to guys like Mark Sanchez. I tell you what, though, if given the opportunity, forget that mentoring stuff. I want to play football. But I'll take what I can get.